G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the northwest side of the map, playing as the Delhi Sultanate, fresh out of the Red Bull Wallalol, ladies and gentlemen, it is Vortex. And on the south side of the map, playing in the color orange as the Chinese, it's Miracle. Now, I don't actually know who Miracle is. I'm going to assume he's from somewhere in Asia, just simply because of the way that he's writing. So you can see his name up here. Miracle, H-R-E, Easy Win is his name. We can actually hover over it and you can see the full name right there. So that's his name. And he also plays with Neptune, who I know is a very proficient China main. So that's the reason why I think, you know, typically people look to try and stick together. So that's my suspicions. But I'm looking forward to this game, looking forward to this matchup. Bit of a classic matchup right here for the Chinese. Always a bit difficult going up against the Delhi. But I think at the moment, obviously, China, a very strong civilization. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Miracle's able to pull out here, because he's going up against one of the best players in the world right now in Vortex. And look at this. Look at this beautiful statue that we've got. This must be a new one. It looks very, very funny, the way that it's positioned like that. But I want to check the statue over on Vortex's side. Looks like he's got the lumberjack over here. At least we'll go with the wood carrier. Let's say that much. But an interesting opening from him. He's gone with the mosque, which is kind of standard, but has opened with a mill as well. And he's now going to be taking gold. So instead of leaving the villagers on wood, he's actually going to be using them to move over towards the gold. So a little bit of more walking distance, but I think it probably saves you quite a bit of resources in the long run. He's also rallying out to food continually here. But over on the other side of the map, though, let's check in with Miracle and see what type of build order he's gone for. So it looks like he is just on sheep at the back and doing a little bit of gold mining. So pretty standard opening here from him. He's 8 and 2 at the moment, which is about normal. I suspect, is he rallying out onto wood now? Normally after 8 and 2, that's when you can rally out onto wood as China, but he's going to go 9 and 2. 9 and 2, not too bad. I think single scout openings from both players as well. Yeah, it's going to be single scout openings from both players. So everyone's gearing up for that feudal age timing push, and I think that's probably where we're going to see a lot of this go. Now, the trend on this map used to be where you would just wall up as China and you would basically play. You could get away with 2 TC Song, and as long as you made a lot of Nesta Bees, you were going to be okay. But the Delhi player, it's very difficult playing up against the Delhi player, especially. Look, it's hard for me to say, but when you've got 3 sacred sites and the potential to grab 4 relics, I mean, you've technically got this 5th relic, easy to wall off, though. It's a lot of passive gold that can come in very quickly for that Delhi player. And remember, they don't have to invest in those mechanisms of gold, right? It's just in there, it's free. So it's very nice for them. It is going to be a Tower of Victory coming out for Vortex, so I guess we're going to be able to answer that question, whether it's worth it or not. I'm curious what direction he looks to play, whether he plays a bit more of a heavy feudal. I think it's probably going to be like a strong feudal into a castle timing. But I think the one thing that is interesting is that by going the Tower of Victory, you're basically saying, I'm not going to start with, I'm not going to focus on cavalry. That's not going to be my big thing. And I think as China, that's exactly what you want your enemy to do. You want your enemy to play an infantry game, because that means that you can play Shukunu. And that's one of the strongest units in the game at the moment in the feudal age. I'm looking forward to seeing what Miracle goes for, though, because, you know, as I mentioned, he's a good friend of Neptune. And if you have been around on this channel for a while, you'll know that Neptune, back when China was considered to be, by most people, like C or D tier, Neptune was top 20 with China. And I was just so impressed, because even just watching him play, like, he didn't have the most clean or crisp build orders, but his game sense was 100% on point. He just knew what to do, when to do it. It was really, really great watching him play. So hopefully Miracle is going to be taking a leaf out of the book. Is it leaf out of the book, a page out of the book? He's going to be following suit here from what Neptune does. But we got the age up coming through. Nice and early age up here. 4 minutes and 9 seconds for Miracle. Let's have a look and see what he spends his resources on. He's heading for that Song Dynasty. Looks like no Imperial official going to be coming out at this stage. Pretty decent timing, though, on his age up. Not to mention the fact that he's going to have Song Dynasty coming in shortly. I suspect we're going to see Barbican right in front of the berries. He could go for something. Actually, against the Delhi Sultanate, you might even be tempted to go stick the Barbican out in the middle of the map. And this is a really good map for the Delhi Sultanate. So normally, the Delhi Sultanate would have, or on this map on Hill and Dale, you would have a sacred site over on this flank, one out over on this flank. But you can see we've got 2 in the middle, and then one that's kind of close to the Delhi player's base. So he's going to be really happy with this. It basically means he can play infantry composition in here, wall off this one out here, forget about this, capture it, and then just fight over the center. But it looks like Miracle is going to just be going Barbican in base. So definitely the right choice here for the moment. All right, well, still 2 villages on gold, so probably going to be adding in Imperial officials shortly, but we'll go in and have a look on the other side of the map and see how Vortex is doing, and it's going to be a blacksmith opening here. Also going to be going for a double mosque. I think this is quite standard to be going for double mosque here as the Delhi Sultanate, just because you've got one mosque that's doing upgrades and the other mosque is making scholars, and you really want to be making as many scholars as you can as the Delhi, even though they're a bit more expensive. With the fact that you get access to herbal medicine quite early on, it is very, very powerful. We can see Sanctity going to be coming in now as well. So with Sanctity, he's going to be able to begin taking those sacred sites. Obviously 3 sacred sites on this map, so very, very nice. But we do see it's going to be a barracks opening, and I find this barracks opening quite interesting for Miracle. Perhaps he just knows that the scout is going to spot this, so you know, it could be the case of show your enemy something and then not use it, or it could just be that he's making spears. But the range is going to come down now as well, and indeed he's going to be making some spears for the moment. Back over in the base of his opponent, Vortex, we do see it's an archery range that he's brought in here, so it makes a lot of sense because obviously he's playing a heavy infantry composition with the Tower of Victory. Now, keep in mind the Tower of Victory has been changed. It used to be an AoE, where your units would have to move into the AoE of the area of effect of the landmark, but now it's basically made it, or they've made it so that if your unit is in the influence range of the Delhi scholars, of the Delhi mosques, that you are going to get the extra percentage. So you can see here it gets an extra 20% attack speed, so it gives you a nice ability to trade out when you have those sort of early fights, and it really lasts until the end game. Especially for archers, having that extra attack speed is really, really strong. All right, well, Miracle behind this, still yet to really begin thinking about where his transition goes. A lot of villagers on gold leads me to believe he is going to be playing 1 TC here. We've also seen no villagers moving out to stone just yet. 11 villagers on wood. It's looking like a pretty standard Chukunu opening here coming out from him, and I definitely agree with this. I think that if you're going to be playing up against the Delhi, you want to be playing 1 base, at least initially. It's going to make a lot of sense for you to go 1 base as the Delhi against the Delhi Sultanate, because if you go for a 2 base play, you will just lose. And the problem is that they're going to be able to capture the sacred sites, use that gold to get up to the next age, and then get the relics. And that's what's really going to hurt you. But we do see that there is quite a presence of archers coming out at the moment. Is he going double archery range? No, it's just a single range at the moment. So he's going full archers against the Spearman Chukunu. That's going to start out well, but obviously the Chukunu, the better they, or the longer this game goes on, the better it gets for them. Looks like we've got a single scholar heading out to every single sacred site, and I do like this. I think if you're going to play Delhi, roll the dice a little bit. You know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But Chukunu gonna get caught out here. We're yet to see any upgrades coming through just yet, but I do suspect we're going to be having those upgrades, those ranged upgrades coming through. Interestingly, going for Steeled Arrow, and I think that makes sense considering he's got the extra 20% attack speed, but I feel like if there's any matchup you want to be getting +1 ranged armor first, it's against China as the Delhi. So for all you Delhi mains out there playing up against China on the ladder, there's obviously going to be a lot of China out there. Look to try and pick up that +1 ranged armor first instead of going for the +1 ranged attack. And now you can see that we've got bugged upgrades up here, so we might even just turn that off. It's almost tempting, I think. There we go. That will turn that off because it's kind of useless at the moment. But the scout actually going to go down. That is quite painful, but he's taken 2 out of 3 sacred sites at the moment. But we can see they are being neutralized. Doing a decent job here, but the scholar offering a little bit of assistance with that healing. +1 has come through now for him. And we'll double check now from the position here of Miracle exactly how he's doing, because we're 8 minutes 40 into this game, and his numbers are still feeling quite low. I'm not sure if you guys did see the build order that I posted up recently, but these are the sorts of numbers you can expect to see about 6 minutes 30 with a more what's the word? I don't want to say competent build order, but a more refined build order. But obviously he's also looking to go for spears and now adding in a 3rd range as well. So really not utilizing the power of the Imperial official here when he definitely had the ability to. He could be looking at a really nice number of Chukunu. But he's definitely having a bit of issue here with this stealth forest. Sacred site getting neutralized, but it looks like the scout probably going to go down. Indeed it does. But now going to be looking to push out. We see a couple of units moving out over towards the west flank as well. Might be a bit difficult for him, but he does have the number advantage over there. We'll double check and see exactly how it trades out. Yeah, you can see Scholar actually not even healing up, not having a real... You know, he's doing a decent job actually with the heals there, but he's going to force him off site. And now we see the age up already coming through. So right now, Vortex aging up. And so this is really what it comes down to, right? Like if you let the Delhi Sultanate get these sacred sites, you are just going to be allowing them a free age up, and with a free age up, they just get so much. So this is part of the reason why you did see quite a lot of Chinese players going for a 2 scout opening against the Delhi, just simply because by having that 2nd scout, you can actually deny or delay 2 sacred sites at the same time instead of 1. But Vortex definitely in a very solid position here. I'm curious to see how Miracle's going to... Well, he's going to need a miracle at this point in time. We'll double check and see how the income is looking for each of these players. And you can see the gold a minute absolutely miles ahead now for Vortex. Cleanup about to come through on this sacred site, but it's been neutralized. And one of the things to note is as soon as you march over here and you clear out this sacred site, now all of a sudden you're going to be losing the second sacred site and the third. So a bit of a mistake here from Vortex to be doing that. I would ideally just be even looking to send over 2 or 3 units, but now age-ups come through. Men-at-Arms going to be coming out shortly. You can expect, and indeed they are. These guys are going to have extra attack speed, and I suspect he's going to be looking to take stone. Where is our stone? Stone down here at the front. Still yet to take it at this point, but a nice little timing push with keep drops and men-at-arms will be definitely the flavor of the week here. But now those Chokunu are going to be taking an interesting decision and moving forward here. Now keep in mind, +1 ranged armor still not in at the moment, but it doesn't matter for the men-at-arms because they've got 4 armor against the 5 attack of the Chukunu. Chukunu always just going to be doing 1 damage to the men-at-arms, but there's a beautiful number of Chukunu that he's got here, able to dish out a lot of damage to those men-at-arms, and they're going to have a difficult time until Force March comes through. But you can see the Chukunu numbers looking very solid right now for Miracle. So able to push through. Relics yet to really be picked up as well. I think we've only seen 1 relic picked up this game. But villagers, got to be careful. Vortex losing 3 villagers. There they go. Men-at-Arms going to be making some decent connections. He's got to make sure that he micros. So that's the big thing here. Against the Men-at-Arms, you need to be microing. Need to be microing. But look at this. We've got ourselves a beautiful position coming out potentially for Vortex. But the main issue that he's going to have are these Men-at-Arms. And I mean, you can really see it right now because he's just focusing. Has this ability to focus down. Sacred Site's being neutralized behind this, and once again, another Sacred Site going to get neutralized. So ideally, you'd love to see Vortex going into Lancers, but the problem is that obviously you go into Lancers, then your enemy can just make Spearmen. But beautiful micro coming out, just shoot and scoot. Focusing down the archers, definitely the right choice. You want to focus down the archers first. They're going to be very easy to kill compared to the Men-at-Arms, but he does get a few Chukunu for his hard work. The main problem he's going to have is that there's just so many Chukunu coming out at the moment. Look at his Chinese base right now, just pumping out units non-stop here. China looking very solid. You know what? We might get a picture of that right there because that is thumbnail worthy. So beautiful stuff right there. All right, well, over towards the center of the map, we do see the Men-at-Arms trying to hold on. Chukunu looking to help out. Buster move over there. Still Sacred Sites down on that south side. Now, the thing that China wants to do here is start hitting food sources. So I don't know whether he spotted the berries up here. Indeed, he has spotted the berries up there. So just sending 2 Chukunu up onto that corner, it's going to give him such a massive advantage because Men-at-Arm production is going to be stopping for about a minute or 2 until you can actually secure those berries back up. So even just 2 Chukunu, if your enemy tries to, you know, attack you with villagers, then you just pull them back. And now they're getting idle time. If they bring out Men-at-Arms, then great. Then you're distracting them. It's such a high value target going for food sources against the Delhi in this matchup, but still we see Miracle just pumping out units in this second age. Does look like we're going to have an age up coming through shortly for him. Still continuing to kite back, having a bit of trouble here with this line of sight. I'd be tempted to say just chuck an outpost up on this corner so you can see over it, but still that Sacred Site. It looks like he's got a sheep out here, but the sheep ain't going to be able to do it, and Chukunu able to come through and take out all the villagers here on the gold mine. 23 villager advantage, 24 villager advantage now for Miracle. Looks like the Sacred Site is going to be hotly contested. Trying his best to take out the Scholar. I don't think he's going to have a whole lot of luck here, though. It looks like the Men-at-Arms should be able to clean him up. But don't get too excited just yet. And look at this. I love the way that he's not actually fighting over the Sacred Sites. He's just using small amounts of units to fight over the Sacred Sites. He's taking the fight to the enemy base, and I really think this is quite smart because it delays any kind of push that comes through. And now we've got the age up coming in for our Chinese player. Where does he go from here? So I would hope that in this position as China, you would go straight for veterancy on your Chukunu and straight for +2. And you want to supervise both of these. And then that way you're going to be increasing your efficiency against Men-at-Arms by 100%. Your damage goes from 1 damage of volley up to 2 damage of volley difference. Now, of course, I do suspect Vortex is going to be going for +2 range attack. So you've got a window here. You can see it's about of 2 minutes that you can actually exploit this. So there is a really good timing here to actually do that. But he is going to get caught with his pants down, unfortunately. We've also got a counterattack. I do apologize. The Men-at-Arms making their way over to the base of Miracle. Still yet to see any kind of cavalry coming out from Vortex at this point, but it is going to be crossbows and palace guards is the way that he looks to go. So I would always be very hesitant of going palace guards against the Delhi, just simply because the Men-at-Arms are very effective as a unit. And Men-at-Arm crossbow, you know, that's kind of like the Delhi bread and butter. And they're always going to outdo you when it comes to pound for pound fighting. Obviously, if you've got a few more pounds on them, though, with regard to your villagers, then that's a different story. But Chukunu just getting some beautiful trades on the backside here. You can see the relics coming back as well. It's going to be 2 relics. I think he's going to try for a Wallalok here. A little bit of a mistake, I'd say, because you're just 100% going to get picked off, and now you're just losing that Scholar as well as the relic. And Good Game just gets called. Miracle going to be victorious here. Vortex getting the absolute runaround, and China demonstrating its Age 2 prowess. I did not expect him to throw in the towel right there. That was very, very quick. So well played from Miracle, demonstrating the prowess of China. And hey, fellas, I got to say, China's looking strong. Check out Vortex. I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.